Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talking Bullion. I'm pretty excited today because I think this is going to be a great video. It's going to show you how to get a lot of free ounces of silver if you do the math the Talking Bullion way. So what I'm going to show you today is how to pay just $12.90 for 5 ounces of government-issued bullion, or more specifically, government-issued coins. So why don't we go ahead and take a look. Alright, so on the screen here you can see we've got our tube of American Silver Eagles and a tube of Canadian Maple Leafs. And what I'm going to show you is if you buy a tube of each, how one tube is a much better deal than the other tube. Now the first thing we need to qualify is when you buy a tube of American Silver Eagles, there's 20 coins in the tube. If you buy a tube of Canadian Maple Leafs, there's 25 coins in the tube. So you're always going to notice the Canadian Maple Leafs cost more, but it's because there's 5 more coins or 5 more ounces of silver in those tubes. So our premise today is we're buying a tube of each, a tube of American Silver Eagles, or a tube of Canadian Maple Leafs. Now we all know the premiums on the American Silver Eagles are very high. They have been for quite a while now. And most stackers would actually tell you to not buy them right now, to wait for them to come down. I recently had a chance to advise a friend, and that was my advice to my friend as well. You know, everybody loves the American Silver Eagles, an important part of the stack. But it really isn't a good time to buy them right now. It really isn't. You can spend much less money on stuff that's just as good, government issued, and I think it's the wise thing to do right now because I'm a stacker. I spend as little as I can on my precious metals. So this all comes really out of the stacking mentality. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Bold Precious Metals, and you could probably do this on any website. I just decided to pick Bold, and we're going to do some price comparisons and see what happens here. Alright, so let me go over to my screen, my internet. Alright, here we're on Bold Precious Metals site, and let's go to Silver American Eagle. Alright, we'll just do the 2023 to keep it consistent. So right now, if we buy a tube of them, we can see that they would be $35.23 a piece. Alright, so $35.23, and up here we can look at spot. Spot is $24.20. So as of today, we would be $11.03 over spot. Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot. So let's pull up my calculator here. And let's do the math. So if we're going to buy a tube of them, now some of these sites have tubes available that you can buy as a tube. Bold didn't really seem to have that, or I couldn't find them easily. If you go to like Monument Metals, they'll be the tube price. But when I did the math, when you bought, if you just bought 20 of them, you did the math, it came out to the same price, whether it was a tube or you just calculated 20. But here we're just going to do the math. So let's do 35.23 times 20. Alright, so to buy a tube as of today, to buy a tube of American Silver Eagles, it's going to cost you $704.60. Alright, so there you go. Got yourself a nice tube of 2023 American Silver Eagles. Great for the stack and nice to have, but at quite a premium. So let's see if we were to just buy them at spot. $24.20, of course, you're never going to get Eagles at spot, right? But just kind of give you an idea of how much over spot you're paying. So it'd be $484 instead of $704. So point is, they're quite a bit over spot. Alright, so the American Silver Eagle, let's remember, is $704.60 to buy a tube of 20. So let's go back to silver. Let's go back to the Canadian Maple Leaf. Let's pull that up. Let's do the 2023. You can see they're on back order, but I've ordered plenty of things on Bold that are on back order. When they come in, they ship them to you. It's not a big deal. They honor the price that you bought them at. It says they're a new arrival. So let's take a look at the same thing. Now here, since a tube is 25 on the Canadian Maple Leaf, let's do the math for 25 of them. And right now they're at 28.70, whereas the American Silver Eagles were at 35.23. So you can see right away these things are quite a bit less. They're about $6.53 per ounce less. That's a lot of money. All right, so let's put our calculator back up. Let's do the math. We're going to do 28.70. We're going to multiply by 25. Remember, this is a tube of 25, and we come out to $717.50. So to buy a whole tube of 25, it's $717.50. Now, if you remember, our tube of American Silver Eagles with 5 less was $704.60. So let's do that math. So now if we take the tube of 25 and we minus the tube of 20, which is $704.60, you can see here it comes out to $12.90. So what does that mean? That means for $12.90, you're getting 5 more ounces of government issued bullion, or these are really coins, right? These aren't bullion, these are coins. These have a denomination on them for just, so 5 additional ounces for just $12.90. Does that make sense or what? To go ahead and just buy the tube of Canadian Maple Leafs now. Most people would prefer the American Silver Eagles. If they had a choice, I'd buy Eagles over Maple Leafs. If, they were the same price and I had a choice. But I have to tell you, the Canadian Maple Leaf at 4.9 fine is a well-respected silver coin in America, well, really around the world, right? Everybody loves the silver Maple Leafs. And they took care of their milk spotting problems for the most part. The newer ones that I've bought, I haven't seen any milk spotting on them. I'm sure you can probably find some cases where they're out there. But what do you think about that, huh? $12.90 to get 5 more ounces of government-issued silver. I mean, I think that when you realize that, that's a pretty big deal. You are saving a ton of money. I mean, if you had to buy those 5 ounces, let's see, let's take this 28.70 and multiply it by 5. That would normally cost you $143.50 out of pocket, all right? So that's minus the $12.90 that you are paying. You're really saving $130.60. I mean, I think that's just phenomenal to look at it like this. So if you're in the market to buy government-issued bullion, I really think you have to turn your head towards the Canadian Maple Leaf and just wait for these American Silver Eagles to come down. You just have to wait it out. They will come down. It's just a matter of time, I believe. Maybe not. We've been saying it for, probably a better part of 2 years now, that they're going to come down. They're too expensive. Premiums will come down. And they flow back and forth. I mean, we just saw that they're about $11 over spot. I mean, on some websites, they're $14 or $15 over spot. So the price is pretty crazy right now. But I really think we have to let the premiums come down. And I think if we quit buying them, that's one way to get the premiums come down. But the market's good. I think people are buying, especially right now. There's been a run on silver. People are really buying a lot of silver right now, and I'm sure the Eagles are being targeted as one of those things. But again, I really think it's to my benefit, maybe to your benefit. That's your decision to buy the cheaper government-issued bullion and coins. I mean, I just don't know why you'd want to not get 5 additional ounces for $12.90. All right, well, that's it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. And always remember, let's keep talking bullion.